My dear friends, close your eyes for a second and feel this with me. Phone screen is the only light in the room. One message, just one, from the person who has broken your heart more times than you can count, and this keep hurting you. And even though every part of you is screaming don't, your thumb still hovers over the reply button, because somehow, loving them still feels safer than losing them. That pain in your chest right now, that's not love. That's a prison you built with your own hands. No one. Today, in this letter, I'm going to tell you the raw, honest story of how I and thousands of hearts just like yours finally broke the chain. This is the psychological break, and if you stay till the end, you might just walk out of that prison tonight and forever. Let me take you back 3 years ago. I wasn't always the man writing these letters. I was the guy who stayed. Her name was Lily. We met on a rainy evening in Los Angeles. She laughed like the storm couldn't touch her, eyes that made you forget the world existed. The first 6 months were pure magic. Late night drives, promises whispered under streetlights. The kind of love that makes you believe in soulmates again. But love stories like ours never stay in the honeymoon chapter. It started slowly. A canceled plan because I'm just tired. A sharp comment about how I was too sensitive. Then came the silence, days of it, followed by a sudden flood of affection that made me forget the pain. I told myself, this is normal. Relationships have ups and downs. I told myself, if I love her harder, she heal. I believe if it's you, you will say more than I thought. I told myself 1,000 lies because the truth was too terrifying. The person I loved most was slowly killing the person I was becoming. Every time she hurt me, I felt it in my bones. My chest would tighten like someone was squeezing my heart with bare hands. I'd replay her words on loop. You're too much. Why can't you just be normal? Until I started believing them. I stopped seeing friends. I stopped writing. I stopped dreaming. Because loving Lily had become my full-time job, and it paid in tears. I remember one night, I was on my knees in the bathroom, crying so hard I couldn't breathe. She had just told me she needed space right after. I had planned a surprise birthday trip for her, and in that moment, a tiny voice inside me whispered, "Why do you keep choosing someone who chooses to break you?" I had no answer, because trauma bonding is a hell of a drug. The highs were so high, they made the lows feel worth it. Science calls it intermittent reinforcement. My heart called it love. And if you were me, what do you say? The deep pain. Why we stay. Listen closely, because this part hurts, but it will set you free. From prison you build yourself. We don't stay because we're weak. We stay because something inside us is still trying to fix the little child who once believed love had to be earned through pain. And that's not right way for you, and that's listing. For me, it went back to my mother, a woman who only showed affection when I achieved something, then disappeared again. Lily's coldness felt familiar. Her sudden warmth felt like the approval I chased my whole life. So every time she hurt me, I didn't see her cruelty. I only saw love. I saw my own unworthiness. That's the psychological trap. Your brain rewires itself to crave the very person who wins you. Dopamine on the good days, cortisol, and shame on the bad ones. A perfect addiction cycle. I became a ghost of myself, smiling for the world while dying quietly inside. Same happened to someone feeling this way. I'd read our old messages at 3 a.m. like a junkie needing one more hit. I'd make excuses for her. She's just stressed. She had a tough childhood. She doesn't mean it. Until the night everything shattered. She looked me dead in the eyes and said, "Rasheed, I never asked you to love me this much. What would you do if someone you love most say this to you?" And in that moment, something inside me finally broke. I couldn't see this coming. And same happened to every relationship. That breakdown till today. Not my heart this time. My illusion. The psychological break. The turning point. I didn't leave that night. I left 3 weeks later. After the longest, darkest battle of my life. The break didn't come with fireworks or a dramatic speech. It came in silence. I sat alone on my balcony at dawn, watching the sunrise over Los Angeles. No music, no text, just me and the truth I've been running from. I finally asked myself the question that changes everything. If I loved myself the way I love her, would I ever let anyone treat me like this? The answer was no, and that no became my first step toward freedom. Here's how the psychological break actually happens. Not in theory, but in real life. First, you stop lying to yourself. You name the pain out loud. She hurts me, on purpose, and I keep letting her. Second, you feel it all. Not distract yourself, not numb it. You sit in the grief like it's a storm you have to weather. I cried for days, ugly, shaking, and for the first time, I didn't cry because she left. I cried because I had abandoned myself for so long. And that's what happens to you when you realize your mistakes. Because you reclaim your story, I started writing again. Not pretty letters, but raw, angry, honest ones. And this is the hardest. You choose yourself every single day. Not with grand gestures, with tiny ones. Blocking her number was one. Going to the gym even when I felt dead inside. But that makes me feel stronger. Saying no to friends who wanted to hear the drama was another. Every time you chose yourself, the chains got weaker. The aftermath, who you become. 6 months later, I barely recognized myself. I laughed louder. I slept deeper. I wrote these letters again. Not from pain, but from power. The most beautiful part, I didn't become bitter. I learned that real love doesn't make you shrink. It doesn't keep score. It doesn't disappear when you need it most. And the craziest thing happened. When you stop loving someone who hurt you. Because when you stop pouring your love into a black hole, that love finally comes home to you. So, here's my letter to you tonight, my dear friend. If you're still listening, still breathing through the pain, still asking yourself, would you ever be free? I want you to hear this in your bones. You are not crazy for loving them. You are not weak for staying too long. But you are powerful enough to stop. The psychological break is not about hating them. It's about refusing to hate yourself anymore. Tonight, I want you to do one brave thing. Just one. Put this video on pause. Look at yourself in the mirror and say out loud, I choose me. I deserve peace. And I am done loving people who hurt me. Say it until your voice stops shaking. Say it until you believe it. Because the moment you stop loving them, you start loving the most important person in your life. You. If this letter touched something deep inside you, do me a favor. Hit that like button so the algorithm knows this message needs to reach more hearts that are breaking tonight. Comment below with the word break if you're choosing yourself today. And if you're ready to heal even deeper, subscribe and turn on notifications. Every week, I send these letters straight to your heart. You're not alone in this. Never were. This is Rasheed, signing off with love, with strength, and with the quiet power of someone who finally chose himself. Now go, break the chain, and come back to life.